If you're a service business owner, then this video is for you. In today's training, we're learning about lead generation and database growth. Stick around and we'll show you how to drive more leads with free offers on all of your platforms. Hello everybody and welcome to our training video. My name is Matt Law. I've been helping grow service businesses since 2001. And in today's video, I'm going to show you a critical component for growth. It's all about lead capturing. So let's dive into the training. Grow your database with platforms and offers. And I know what you're probably thinking, platforms, offers, database stuff. I don't know anything about that. I just need leads. Well, if you need leads, then you need to learn about databases, platforms, and offers. Let's dig in, and I think it will make sense to you really soon. So the world has changed. Everyone has unlimited access to information through their computers, through smartphones. AI is now everywhere. Customers are savvy, and they no longer are in need of salesmen. So think about buying a car, the salesman approaching. You're like, oh gosh, I don't know about this sales guy coming over and bothering me. You answer the door and it's a solar, salesman. You go on vacation and there's timeshare guys trying to sell you stuff. High pressure sales. Think about how you feel when it's a telemarketer on the phone. I will say this, people are sick of sales. They hate it. And people would rather pay more to buy a car online, think about companies like Carvana, than deal with a salesman. Now, some of you love sales and you love negotiating, get a good deal. But you have to understand, especially the younger generation, they don't want the conflict. They don't want any of that. And so they would rather buy online and just have it really, really simple. Sometimes I will meet service business owners or companies that are built on the skill set of a great salesman. They're great at selling roofs or pools or whatever they sell, and they capture a lot of sales. They have a very high closing rate. But here's the thing, they will never dominate the market because they can't grow, because it's built on the sales skill or the sales pressure of one person. And think about this, with AI, sales is going to play an even smaller role because people can get information anywhere. They can find data and ideas just about anywhere, online, on their phones, everywhere. And so high pressure sales is definitely going to be a thing of the past. And I know you may kind of disagree with me, but I want you to hear me out. And I think you'll see that there is a better way to do this. So though the process for how people buy has changed, relationships are still a huge part of the sales equation. So people desire relationships, they want friendships, they want helpful advice, but they don't want sales pressure. And I kind of talk about this in like the dating scenario. Think about the younger generation, which if you are a business owner, these are your future customers and will be your customers. People would rather meet online, all right, than meet somewhere else. Why? Because they want to scope that other person out. They want to maybe have a chat online. They want to text. They want to do all of those things first and kind of make sure this person is a good person, and then they'll go on a date because blind dates are scary, right? In my day, I had to ask my wife out personally, talk about high pressure sales with that. So it's pretty funny. So it's a lot easier now for people to go online and find information. So most customers hate high pressure sales and they don't want to be sold on something, but they are looking for information and want to be educated and then make the best choice possible. So they are looking to make a good decision. It's our responsibility to educate our prospects and customers on why they should buy from us. And we're not talking about high pressure sales, we're talking about education. And guess what? Before they ever fill out a form on your website or call you or schedule a call with you, they've already read your reviews. They're already educating themselves about who they will be working with. So they've gone through a lot of your reviews online, on Yelp, on Google. They're browsing your website, and they likely know exactly who you are. So let's put this into pictures, shall we? So you have the pushy guy, that's the high pressure sales guy, and you're going to repel the prospects. That's high pressure sales. And I just want to tell you, it may work on a couple people here and there, but in the end, they're going to have buyer's remorse. They're going to feel the pressure. They're not going to be educated. It's definitely not the way to go. But then if you do nothing, you'll leave money on the table. So if you don't ask for the sale, you're not going to get it. So there is a better way, and it is a system. But first, we have to understand the psychology for how people buy, and I call it the A to Z buying spectrum. See if this makes sense to you. So the A to Z buying spectrum is where people land at when they are making a decision to buy something. Z is when the money changes hands and the deal is done. It's when the house closes. It's when the keys are handed over to the car. It is the final decision. It's checking out at the store. It's signing the contract. So Z is buying. Now think about the alphabet. A is just starting out. L somewhere in the middle. Z is a customer. Lifetime customers who stay loyal to a brand stay on Z. But if you make your customers upset or don't serve them well, then they will leave Z and then they'll go back onto the spectrum and consider working with somebody else. This is what we need to remember. Not every prospect is ready to spend money today. Some are considering upgrading. Some are thinking about that new roof, that new tankless water heater. Some are considering, hey, should I get solar? Maybe I want to design a kitchen. There's all of these different variables depending on it. And this is how you know. Do you close every single estimate you send out? Of course not. But a lot of times they haven't gone with somebody else. They're just somewhere on the A to Z spectrum and they're not quite ready. So people who are on the Z spectrum are going to request a quote and they're going to have a much highly likelihood of closing with somebody if they're close to that Z point right there. But if they're somewhere A to L, L to T, somewhere in that spectrum, they're not quite ready. So here's the question. What if you could catch more people before they get to Z? Think about this. Every buying decision goes through A to Z. Moving to a new home, you don't just buy it right away. Hey, you start looking online, visit a couple websites, talk to your friend, review some neighborhoods, check out mortgage rates, maybe get pre-qualified. Same with buying a car. You don't just show up at the dealership. Usually you're going to look online, figure out the different cars you want to get, do some reviews, watch some YouTube videos, all of these things. Even buying a pack of gum or a candy bar still goes through the A to Z spectrum. And let me explain. You just process it so much faster. Hey, I'm on a diet. Should I eat that? And then before you know it, it's in the impulsive section. You grab it, you put the candy bar on the counter, check out, and then you've bought it. You went A to Z very, very fast. So here's a question. How do you capture leads early? What about the people that don't close? What about the people that aren't ready for an estimate? What if they just clicked on your Google ad and spent some money for you? What if they're not ready to buy right now? Well, that is called the free offer. And the free offer, it's something to get them interested in what you're doing. And so some things really are free. The offer is anything your company gives away for free in exchange for a prospect or a customer's private contact information. In 99% of cases, it's going to be just your prospect's contact information. The only time it would be a customer is if you did not have them in a database and they were customers a long time ago. Now, this information could include email addresses, phone numbers, mailing addresses. In most cases for service businesses, this is a quote request. A lot of our clients allow their customers to schedule in-home appointments. That would also be considered close to Z-scale, but it can also be a number of other free resources. So I see right now a lot of like high pressure offers online, like schedule an appointment, call us now, all of those things. Of course, that is going to be for prospects that are on the Z scale. That's not what I'm talking about. And of course, with our system and how we do marketing, you should have a quote form on every single page of your website to try to get people to schedule and request a quote. What I'm talking about is people who are not ready, something that's simple, something that's free, something that's instant. And I'll give you a couple of examples, like on a plumber's website, your free guide to water softeners. Maybe a roofer, the complete metal versus shingle roof comparison. A pool builder, the ultimate guide to pool designs, over 27 different ways to make your backyard beautiful. How to get solar for free with these new tax incentives. The complete guide to kitchen designs. You get the idea. And one thing that's cool is that this is our free offer, and we wrote it. We spent a lot of time on it, did a lot of work on it to help people really learn how to grow their service business. So this is our free offer. You could claim this at the end of the video if you're interested, but that's our free offer. 20 years of marketing in 100 pages, and we give it away to free all the time to business owners. Sometimes they never even call us, never even talk to us, but it helps them. And because it helps them, we offer value, we end up working with some of them. And so it's pretty cool. So with offers, they must be free of charge and without gimmicks, tricks, or gotchas. And the offer should be very, very fast. So offers must have a high perceived value. Remember, it's an expert advice. You know more about your industry than anybody else, right? So because you do, you're the expert, you must be sharing some insider, helpful, secret information. To receive the offer, the prospect must share their private contact information to receive it. So if the offer is lame or stupid, nobody is going to claim it. And remember, people are ready to buy. They're going to fill out a quote form, or they are going to request an appointment. So we are talking about those who are not quite to Z, that are just on your site considering, and their information, once they request it, will go into the database or your CRM. And we'll talk about that in a second. So the platform is the connecting point. It's basically anywhere a prospect comes in contact with your business, with the requirement that a database transfer is possible. So they have to be able to share information with you for it to be considered a platform. For example, an ad on Google is not a platform, because no matter what, it's just an ad. They can see the ad, they can do that, but if they can't submit information, then it's just an ad. There has to be able to transfer information. So an example would be your company's website. A visitor can enter their information online and send it to you. Another platform that, as an example, would be your phone. Your person answering the phone. Prospects can call you, they can request a quote, they can give you information. Some other examples are like trade shows. People can fill out information. If you sell door to door, that's another connection point where they could actually give you their information. You already have their address because you're at their house, of course, but just as an example. Just remember, a platform is defined as a place where you serve up the offer, but you have to be able to capture contact information. It's the place people come into contact with your business and they can take action. So some examples, again, company website, outbound sales staff, maybe they got iPads or something, they're putting information. Inbound phone, when people are answering the phone, your staff or receptionist, someone walks in, they can type that in. Some people do text for a quote, so they can text, for a quote. Trade shows, like your showroom, there's lots of different ways around there. And I'll give you an example. So many times businesses get calls and they get website visitors and leads, and people, are interested in working with them, or just somewhere on that A to Z spectrum. They're not ready to book an in-home appointment. They're not ready to do a quote. A while back, my wife and I had moved into a new home, and I was thinking about getting an alarm system. And I was telling my wife, I said, maybe we should go call ADT and get a quote. It's about 5 o'clock and we're getting ready to go for a walk. And here comes a door-to-door sales guy. And guess what? It's ADT. They're in, the area, like, hey, we're here today in your neighborhood and we'd like to get you a quote. I said, well, I can't talk to you right now because I'm getting ready to go for a walk, but maybe what you could do is you can get my information and give me a call maybe tomorrow. I'm sorry, I can't do that. We're only in here today. So here's what he was saying. I have no way of capturing your information and following up with you tomorrow or the next day or anything. So guys going out into the field, they're looking just for the Z scale. Well, here I was, a really good prospect, not quite to Z, but I was busy. I was on my way for a walk. So here's why they missed out, is because they did not have a way to capture my information. So wherever you have a chance to come in contact with a prospect, you ought to be thinking about your offers and what you can give away. So here, let me just show you, and this will probably be the easiest way. So your free offer is what you kind of bait people with. It could be a coupon, an ebook, info, sample, materials, special video, something like that. That information then goes into the funnel, which is your database, which we'll talk about later. We'll have automation. And let me just give you a couple of examples. So we have a client that does floors, and this is a virtual showroom. They can upload a photo, they could choose a floor, and then they can get a virtual look at how it would look in their home. So this is actually a pop-up. Here's another one. It's for a vinyl fence company, and you can see it's a guide to vinyl fences, and it talks about the different types. Here's another company that does kitchens. It's the Dream Kitchen Guide. Here's one we did a while back. It's a water softener systems guide, and this was a banner on part of the website. And so you see there's a few ideas there. So it starts a relationship, and with that user's contact information, we can now establish a relationship by providing value with our free resources and helpful information in our communication. Now they are opting in for something helpful. It's usually instantly delivered very, very fast. And what does the offer include? Well, helpful information, but it also includes our unique selling points, because we're educating them from our expert approach of why they'd be crazy to do business with anyone but us. And so the relationship starts. So now let's go back and let's look at the A to Z buying spectrum and talk about how people buy. Remember that dating thing we talked about, that high pressure sales? High pressure sales is like asking someone to marry you on the very first date. They might be like just a couple dates in, but if you ask them to marry them too soon, there's a good chance you're either going to get a no, or they're going to say yes, and they're going to have a ton of regret or buyer's remorse. So the better way is through the offer. And in the offer shares your unique selling points and all the reasons why they should do business with you or continue dating you or to marry you and go to that Z position. So in the dating relationship, Z would be marriage. But before you get married, wouldn't you want to share with your prospect all of your best features? And that is step number one, say the right things with your unique selling points, but then you can also then time out this follow-up pieces, these follow-up messages, so that they can know all the reasons why they should buy from you. Think about it like this. Someone was hanging out with one of their friends, okay? And they noticed some amazing new home service that your company just did. Maybe it's a pool, maybe it's hot water heater, kitchen, it could be a number of new things. Did the new roof, you did new landscaping, and they say, hey, friend, I like your new whatever it is. This is awesome. Who did this for you? And that friend mentions your name. And so they come home and they visit your website, but they're not ready to buy, at least not yet. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about keeping up with the Joneses, and so they're on the A to Z spectrum, but they're not at Z yet. So they request your free offer, and you give them this quick email. It's got information, it's helpful, it's short, it's impactful. It gives them financing options. It shares all of your unique selling points. Now that is powerful, but what you don't see is in marketing automation, you would continue to nurture them with emails, quarterly updates from your companies, special promotions, and so that when they are ready, or they are ready to go to the Z position on the A to Z spectrum, they're going to work with one company only, and it's the one that gave them value, gave them education, stayed in touch with them, and it's going to be your company. Now, right now, a lot of you guys generate leads and you get all these quote requests and you don't do any follow-up at all. In marketing automation, we talk about following up with prospects, following up with people you've sent estimates to, and also following up with customers. You should always be following up. But this part of the marketing training is all about growing your database. Of course, you want to capture quote requests. Of course, you want to capture people that schedule. But what about those who are not quite ready to go? So the law of reciprocity states that when people receive something for free, they feel compelled to return the favor. So for example, suppose someone helps you change a tire on the side of the road. You now feel indebted to them in return and you want to pay them back. So this is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Your mama taught you that, didn't she? So the goal of using platforms and offers is to grow your database. Prospects and customers go inside the database, will be nurtured using marketing automation. And what are we going to say to them? We're going to share our unique selling points to increase conversions and your lifetime customer value. And again, we'll discuss that in marketing automation. That's video 4 and step 4 of the process. But remember, people have requested a free resource, a quote. Sometimes they're just not ready to buy yet, but they'll remember you. And when they do buy, they will work with you. And again, think of it, your database, as a virtual bank account. It's got future revenues, future customers, repeat business. It's got referrals in it. It's got upsells. It's got cross sells. So you have to put a huge value on your database and how you grow it. And you got to work hard to manage it and sustain it. You'll continue to nurture this relationship in step 4. I'll give you a few tips on creating some offers. And a lot of times think about content you already have. A lot of times I meet with business owners and they don't realize the expertise that they have inside their head because they've been doing it for so long and they're like, well, everybody knows this. But the truth is the average customer may not know that. So think about what you know and content you already have. You can whip it into an ebook, but it's got to be valuable insider good information. Make the offer simple to claim. It should be instant and fast. There's all kind of technology that can do this very quickly right now. Make the offer available on every platform. If the person answering your phone, somebody calls and has a question and they're not quite ready to schedule, but they just have some questions, hey, could I send you over our free what? So remember your phone system and put it on every platform. Don't do anything with gimmicks. Make it 100% free. So it's not about like, hey, try this out, or, and then you're charging them shipping or something like that. If you're going to mail them something, a DVD, or anything like that, you've got to make it free. If you're giving away a book and by mail, you got to ship it for free. It has to be free, no credit card. If it's an electronic download, then they can claim the electronic download. So you should deliver your USPs with incredible value and kindness. And then once they're in the database, you should have automation planned out for follow-up, which could be text, email, even scheduled phone calls by some of your staff members. So you want to do that with taste. And again, we'll talk about that in marketing automation. So there's a lot of ideas here, but here are some examples for some free offers, coupon codes, free inspection. Coupon codes will work if you have a set price item for something. That's very helpful. Sometimes it's good to do an inspection on that. I've seen it work there. Best is reports, white papers, guides, tools. Maybe there's a small sample material of something that you guys do, a free book. It could be even a course, design guide, things like that. So a lot of ideas. The goal is to capture the information and then you're going to nurture them. The bigger your database grows, the more chances of you to grow your database. And so I'll kind of show you the big picture. You see your unique selling points go everywhere. They go into every part of your marketing. They're going to go into your website, and it's what your salespeople should say. All of your platforms are going to have offers. You should be thinking about generating leads all the time, everywhere you go. And of course, quote requests, estimate requests, you want to do that, but don't forget about free resources and free guides where you can nurture them, you can educate them. That's what you're going to use to bait people. That offer is going to bait people to get into your database. And so I'll kind of give you an example of why this matters. And you're probably thinking like, Matt, I got this database, I got these people in there, but I don't even know what to do. Well, let me just tell you this. Last year we were working with a company. They had 1,800 people in their database, past customers, which wasn't a whole lot, but they had not communicated with them in years and years and years and years. And so they, as part of their project, we did some local SEO, we did Google Ads, and I can't go into all the details, but there was some penalties or something going on with their SEO where their organic traffic did not grow substantially. We did do good for their local and we did do ads, but here's the thing. That company grew by 40%, even though the marketing arsenal did not work as well due to some previous penalties. What saved them was that each month we sent out 1,600 emails highlighting different services, and we got back in front of their customers, and their customers began to call them, and they got upsells, they got cross sales. And so it is very, very powerful for that reason. But let me just give you another reason for how this matters. And let's pick an industry. Let's say just a carpet cleaner, okay? And this guy maybe is just starting out. And some of you watching this video, you are fresh in business. You're like, how do I grow, and maybe you're just starting out. First year in business, and maybe you have 100 calls that you get. 100 people want estimates, 100 people that, you sent quotes to, 100 people that you have emails for and phone numbers for. And what if that person stores it in a database? This carpet cleaner, what if he stores it in a database? Okay, and now let's say it's the end of the year and it's Christmas and he's slow, right? He needs $1,000 so his kids can have a good Christmas. And what does he do? Well, he sends out an email and a text to those 100 people in his database. Now, remember, some of those people closed, right? Some of those people didn't. Some of those people just didn't even do anything. They just sat on it and didn't do anything. They waited, but he sends it out to 100 people. And he needs $1,000, got to have Christmas, and he does a special. 3 rooms, special, $199, 5 spaces only, get it done before Christmas, something like that. Now, there's people in that A to Z spectrum, people that haven't closed yet, people who didn't do their whole house, maybe they did parts of it. And guess what? Out of 100 people, there's a good chance, depending on what he sends out, that he will get 5 people to call him and he'll get his $1,000 for Christmas. Now, that is an example of like a Hail Mary, but you have the customer's information and you're able to communicate with them and it saves the day. But what if you did this more as a system? What if you followed up with every prospect? What if you're generating leads every month on autopilot on your website? What if you're nurturing them and then following up? Each quarter you're sending emails. What if you're doing all of the things the right way? That is the power of platforms and offers and your database. It's your virtual bank account, it's future revenues. And so I want to share with you our free resources, and I can't go into all the details of platforms and offers, but you can request our free training resources. It has our book, and it's the same blueprint we've used to grow companies by more than 400%, and we'll send that to you for free. There's downloads, there's audios, all of that is available. You'll also get our audio training course. You can listen to it when you're driving to jobs, and there's even some checklists there for marketing tools and helpful information. That said, there is zero pressure. We are here to help. You can grab a copy of the download link in the description below. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.